Alright, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be upgrading the Vampiric Hunger starter deck. You want to click the clone button down here. This is going to create a clone in your decks that you can upgrade to your liking. So today we're going to be doing a 0 rare budget upgrade. No rares, no mythics, commons and uncommons only. We've done this before. The reason we're doing this again is because we just had rotation with Edge of Eternities. These upgrades should be good for the next year. We're hopefully done with these decks. I've upgraded them 3 times. So what is this deck? It's a life gain deck. It is whenever we gain life, get a counter. If I just do a gain, I'm sure that does a good enough job. Whenever we gain life, get a counter. Whenever we gain life, get a counter. Whenever we gain life, get a counter. And then we have no gain life, gain life. This gains some life, right? It's an Orzhov life gain deck. Obviously has tons of very suboptimal cards. We just have better stuff. I mean, this isn't bad. It's not that this card's bad. It's just that we have, better stuff, right? That's the idea. We have better, more optimal things. So let's start by taking out 2 Paladins for 2 Fiendish Panda. So these are very similar. They're both 4 drops. They both get counters when we gain life. The difference is, if we have 25 or more life, this has double strike. That's rarely actually relevant. Obviously, if it hits the player, if it hits the opponent, that's awesome. But generally, these things just get huge. If you play this deck, you know how big these things get. They're just big. The payoff for this, the second paragraph that makes this different, is when it dies, it can return a non-bear with mana value less than or equal to this creature's power from your graveyard to the battlefield, which means it can return an Ajani's Pridemate. When we have these things, these are the must-kill targets for our opponent. They want to kill these really bad. So the fact that this one gets back this one from the graveyard after it's been killed is kind of great. And I prefer that over the double strike. So I want to take out 2 of these, add 2 of these, go up to 4 total. Next, I want to get a 4th Ajani's Pridemate in the deck, and we'll do that by taking out a Cat Collector. Both of these are life gain payoffs. I just don't like this one. 3 mana, 3/2 when it enters makes a food, and then when you gain life, you make a 1/1, and it only happens once per turn. So a 3 mana, 3/2 that makes a 1/1 every turn, and we can make 1/1s easier than this, I think. And this is like the reason to play this type of deck for sure. So I think it's worth taking out 1 of these, going up to a 4th Ajani's Pridemate. It's like one of the best cards in the deck and the reason to play this type of deck. Next, I don't think Moment of Triumph is very good. Gives a creature +2/+2, gain 2 life. It does trigger these, but it's just not very exciting. +2/+2 is not that great. Our creatures get big. Like, killing things in combat, usually not a problem. These things are usually huge. So I want to gain life more consistently, and the way we do that is with Hinterland Sanctifier. Whenever a creature enters, we gain 1 life. So, like, the best possible play is this turn 1 into a turn 2 Pridemate. It instantly triggers the Sanctifier, gains a life, and becomes a 3/3. It's pretty good. This is, I don't like it very much. So we'll take 2 of these out, go up to our 4 copies of Hinterland Sanctifier. Next, I want to take out 2 Sanguine Siphoners, and I want to replace it with a Deep Cavern Bat. Oh, I forgot. Okay, you need to click here and go to Standard. These are for Standard, guys. So you need to click here in this mode. If you are in this mode, you need to click here. We're switching to Standard. Also, if you don't know how to change the layout, it's this button here. People ask me that from time to time. But we're adding 2 of these. So why are we doing this? We have 2 2-drops. This is a 1/3. When it attacks, opponent loses 1, we gain 1. This also kind of does the same thing because it has a lifelink. So when it hits the opponent, we're going to deal 1, gain 1. Technically, we deal 1 less damage. But that's assuming this can even attack because it's on the ground. Can't attack. This is much more likely to be able to hit the opponent. But the upside of Deep Cavern Bat is that when it enters, you get to look at the opponent's hand. And you get to exile 1 of them. It's only until this leaves the battlefield they get it back. But being able to take removal, being able to take key combo pieces, you can mess up their curve. If they have like a 1, 2, and 3 drop, you can take like their 2-drop and, make them kind of awkward, right? Stuff like that. Very disruptive. This technically deals 1 extra damage, assuming it can attack as a 1/3 on the ground. If it can't, then it just gets neutralized. So this just makes a lot more sense. Want to take out 2 of these, add 2 of these. And I also want to take out, oh, that's the wrong card, a Cat Collector for a 3rd Deep Cavern Bat. So Cat Collector is, as we discussed, it's fine. It makes a 1/1, I guess. Not that exciting. But the disruptive nature of this, the flying, so we can hit the opponent, gain some life every turn, pretty good. So I want to take out the Cat Collector for a third Deep Cavern Bat. Next, we have another moment card, and this is fine. -2/-2 for 2, gain 2 life. But we have, at least in best of 1, we have a stupidly powerful removal spell for this type of deck, and that is Sheltered by Ghost. If you're not familiar with this card, it's an O-ring effect. When it enters, it exiles something. If the aura leaves, they get the thing back. But in the meantime, it gives +1/+0. It gives lifelink, so we can put this on an Ajani's Pridemate, and it'll trigger itself because it has a lifelink. So it'll start gaining life, adding counters to itself, and then it has Ward 2. So you can kind of use this to protect an important creature. You can use it to protect this. In the late game, you can put it on... Your opponent wants to kill this, right? So in the late game, you can O-ring their card on something less important, like a Sanctifier, for example, and then the opponent has to choose, do I kill the Sanctifier to get my thing back, or do I kill the thing that's killing me? And if they kill this, then they don't get their thing back, right? So it's just a choice that the opponent has to make, and a choice you can make between, do I value pressuring and protecting an important threat, or do I care about neutralizing a threat by putting this on something less important that the opponent doesn't want to touch? But either way, it's better than Moment of Craving, I think. So we'll take 2 of these out. We'll add 2 of these in. And similarly, we have Tribute of Hunger. Target opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Naturally, they're always going to sacrifice the smallest thing. This usually kills a small token and you gain 1 life. Obviously, there could be a perfect scenario where they have like 1 big threat and it's amazing, but usually not. So I'd rather just have 2 more Sheltered by Ghost. Take 2 of these out. Go up to the full 4 copies of this, which is really good in best of 1 specifically. In best of 3, if you're playing this, people will sideboard in more spot removal, and then this becomes kind of junk, but in best of 1, it's pretty good. Lastly, I would consider this optional, but I kind of want to take 2 Blood Witches out for 2 Healer's Hawk. 2 reasons. One is for curve concerns. We're pretty clunky. We fixed it a lot. There are a bunch of 3 drops. We switched them for 2 drops. Curve looks better, but I still want more 1 drops, and you can play the Bat as well, which I've forgotten the name of. If we do type Bat, this card, it's the same thing. 1 mana 1/1 flying lifelink, 1 mana 1/1 flying lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended, which means if something went to your graveyard, you scry. Strictly better. There's no reason to play Healer's Hawk over Ruin Looker Bat. In fact, you could switch these 2 out for these 2. It's just strictly better. In fact, let's add these 2 in and these 2 out. And then if you wanted to, you could swap these if you wanted to. It's kind of optional. Mostly it's just for curve. I'd like more 1 drops, but it's not necessary. Now, there are still a lot of things you can do with this deck. For me, I've gotten complaints in the past where I've changed too many cards and people are like, why even upgrade this deck? Why not just build an entirely different deck? And they're totally right. But again, there's the Ruin Lurker Bats, there's Healer's Hawk, there's also the Cat. This card, which is uncommon, it is in Foundations, I believe. 1 mana 1/1. If you control 3 or more creatures, gets +1/+1, and you gain 1 life. It's pretty good. It's better than these things, I believe. There are also some very powerful rares you can consider adding. Let's just, I'm just going to go add them all to the sideboard. Hang on. Alright, so rares and mythics. The 2 big ones are Essence Channeler, maybe 3 big ones, maybe 4 big ones. Let's just talk about them individually. So let's start with Essence Channeler. This is just like Fiendish Panda and Ajani's Pridemate. The key difference is when it dies, it puts its counters on another creature. It is better than Fiendish Panda. Fiendish Panda can, if we have Pridemate in the graveyard, bring it back. If we don't, if the opponent exiles our graveyard, if this dies before a Pridemate, it can kind of do nothing. This is always good. If this gets 6 counters and the opponent kills it, the counters go to something else. Totally fine. It kind of does the same thing as Fiendish Panda, but just for 2 mana. It can also get flying sometimes and stuff. So, Fiendish Panda for Essence Channeler makes a lot of sense. There's also Amalia, very similar. Whenever we gain life, she explores, kind of similar to this stuff. And she has Ward, pay 3 life, and she also blows up the board eventually. Not really relevant. Could be relevant. Not usually relevant. There's also card draw. Let's take these 2 out. These 2 are important card draw cards. This is whenever it or another creature enters, or artifact, by the way. Not that that's super relevant, but it's whenever a creature, artifact, or this enters, we gain 1. And then at the beginning of our end step, if we have gained 3 or more life, we draw a card. Infinitely better than both of these. I would rather have 4 copies of this. It is legendary, but I'd rather have 3 or 4 copies of this over either one of these cards. Then we have 4 mana, 3/3, flying. Whenever you gain life, get a +1/+1 counter. Once again, we got another one of these effects. And then, whenever it gets a counter once per turn, it's going to draw. That is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Prefer this over Angelic Destiny. I prefer it over Alinda. I probably prefer it over Phyrexian Arena. All 3 of these cards, Destiny, Alinda, Phyrexian Arena, can definitely go into Exemplar of Light, especially if you take this 4-drop out for a 2-drop. That makes it a little bit more justifiable to put in a 4-drop in a 3-drops place, right? We have the combo. We have to talk about the combo, of course. Where's the other one? So this is whenever we gain life, the opponent loses 1. This is whenever the opponent loses life, we gain that much life. These combo infinitely. If we gain any amount of life, if we gain 1 life, the opponent loses 1, then we gain 1, and when they lose 1, it just goes back and forth. I did that backwards. When we gain life, it makes the opponent lose 1. When the opponent loses 1, we gain 1. When we gain 1, it makes the opponent lose 1, right? So back and forth, infinite combo. You can do that if you want to. And then there's the land. Perfectly good land. Better than these tap lands. Or definitely, the Guild Gates don't do anything. Enter tapped, black and white. Enter tapped, black and white. But it can animate into a 1/4 when it attacks. The opponent loses 1, gains 1. This is just strictly better than Guild Gate. You should not have these in the deck if you can get these. Also, probably worth adjusting the mana. We have 28 white, 15 black. I believe it is worth doing a bit of this. Just getting a nice amount of swamps and plains. We could even maybe go 10-5 potentially. But that's the deck. Check out the rares. See if you have any of these. And that'll be good. The big ones, I would say the most important ones are... Oh, I didn't talk about Virtue. Virtue is better than Moment of Hunger, 2 mana, give a creature -3/-3, gain 2, but in the late game it becomes a big game winner. You're not expecting to go to 7 mana, but if you do get there in a long grindy game, you should be looking at this. You should be looking at this as a 2 mana removal spell first, with maybe sometimes you'll cast the actual enchantment, which never happens. These are the 3 main cards. These are the ones that I'd be looking for. Fiendish Panda out for Essence Channeler. These 4 cards out, or 3 or 4 of them, if you will, for Halaya, and then Destiny, Alinda, and Phyrexian Arena out for Exemplar. And then you could incorporate more of the 1-drop flyers like this to make the deck a little bit more aggressive. You could take out Vampire Nighthawk for 2 more Ruin Looker Bats to make the deck just a little bit faster. But yeah, that's it. That's our upgrade in the Edge of Eternity's rotation. Hopefully that's useful. Hopefully this is the last time I need to make this video. But that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully that's useful. Deck list in the description. And I will see you in the next one.